Right, South Carolina State, Winston-Salem State, Saturday in Orangeburg, an evening game, coach, and a pretty good crowd, almost 9,000 folks on hand. Winston-Salem State winning the toss, electing to take the football.
Yeah, I was a little bit surprised that they took the ball. Most people are deferring now, but we kick off to them. Stephen Grantham gets a good kick, and Des Benjamin and Quinn Ellaby make a play there.
Winston-Salem State, Monty Purvis, the quarterback, had a pretty good night throwing the football for a while, but this defense, we talk about carrying your football team and the strength of the team right now. South Carolina State's defense playing so well. We
are playing good on defense, and it's a lot of guys, especially those up front guys. So, you know, it looks like we got a chance to be a good team for years to come.
Tony White, Keon Brooks making a tackle, Trap Henderson there. Every time Winston-Salem State seemed to get something going, someone on defense would step up and make a play.
Right, and Cedric Lloyd actually made this guy run around here a little bit, and then Phillip Adams pushes him out of bounds.
Bulldogs will take over on downs. You bring the two tight ends, and another great night for Will Ford, who turns the corner and gets 10 yards on this carry.
Yeah, Rolandus Breland is blocking the edge there, but Will Ford can play. I think he's about as good a player as we got.
Big play here. Cleve McCoy, the play action to Terrence Smith, 71 yards, and we're on the board on the second play from scrimmage.
Yeah, Terrence has been struggling with the flu a little bit, too, so he's really tired from that point.
You look at that particular play coming only in the first 3 minutes of the game, 12:15 to go in the first quarter, and Winston-Salem State now trying to come back, and the defense steps up.
Right. You see Littleberry here pressuring him a little bit. Trap Henderson and Matt Key actually makes the tackle.
Bulldogs again coming with a new front four. Littleberry, the pressure here, and Winston-Salem State going up top for the big catch and run.
This is a great throw here, too. We had a little twist going, and we almost got there. He sticks it in there for a big game.
That was Marquis Hamlin and Quinn Ellaby on the tackle. We talk about Will Ford, 160-some yards running the football, and there's not much he can't do.
You're right, and you see our offensive line blocking really good there. Lee and Richardson, I think Harrison and Dawson are in the game right now.
McCoy up top here, and I thought Cleve did a good job of making decisions and really running with a sense of urgency.
This is when Cleve's at his best here, when things break down, and you see a blur that come through there somewhere. That's Terrence Smith running through to block somebody.
Little bubble screen here. Philip Morris had a good game. Ironically, I asked you about him before the game.
Philip is from Timminsville, and he's a junior college transfer, and we finally beginning to get him to play some. So hopefully we'll get a big-time play out of him real soon.
Big game for this guy as well. Travell Jamison plus 80 yards running the football. His best day as a Bulldog.
I think we found us a bruiser here, a big back, kind of like what Baker was, and somebody who can push the pile around some.
Stephen Grantham misses the field goal attempt here, and you see a lot of yards amassed by South Carolina State, and that would be the MO for this game. You get a lot of yards, but you don't get anything for it.
Yeah, we get a lot of yards and don't get as many points as we like, but we're going to eventually work that into some points.
Big play here for Winston-Salem State. They're back in South Carolina State territory, but every time they seem to get something going, the defense would step up and make a play.
Right. James Simmons and Keon Brooks gets that play right there. Tony White's also involved.
Winston-Salem State, again, deep in Bulldog territory, and what a play coming up here. Phillip Adams slowing him down.
I think he wants to throw this ball, and the only reason he doesn't is because Phillip is on him so fast that he doesn't have the opportunity, but it's a real good play.
You come back with Will Ford running hard again. Third consecutive game for Will Ford, over 100 yards. 7-0, we go into the second quarter.
Right, Will just finds it. He's one of those zone special kind of runners, and you know, I think that we're going to have a chance to, to see this guy rush for some big yards this year.
Best run of the night for Jonathan Woods here. He gets up 10 yards on this particular carry. He just seemingly not able to get his rhythm as well as he can run.
Yeah, he's struggling fitting into this system a little bit, and, we got to find a way to get him going. So.
Big throw catch, Cleve to Dustin DuBose.
This is a nice throw, and Cleve puts the ball over and under the linebackers, and, that's what you got to do when you're trying to throw the vertical route.
McCoy with the option, keeping it himself and picking up some good yards, and once again, we're in scoring opportunity.
Right. This is actually a man route that we get because we got a third and long situation. We'll Ford out of the backfield, and ends up being a pretty nice play for us.
We ended up having to settle for a field goal. This time, Stephen Grantham gets the kick up and through, and the Bulldogs go up 10-0. Still a lot of time to go in the first half, and it seems like we're going to score a lot of points tonight.
Well, it looks like we are, but we don't. I think we might be done for the half.
When you start talking about Winston-Salem State, Monty Key rolling out into the flat and find a receiver down the field. Good throw and catch, and once again, Winston-Salem State back in Bulldog territory.
Yeah, these kind of quarterbacks sometimes worry you sprinting out. You see Sam Chester, one of our freshman defensive linemen, knocking his guy back into the running back and making a play.
Monty Purvis on the quarterback draw. Another play by Trapp Henderson and, of course, Quinn Ellaby.
Quinn, and I think Tony White's involved in that also.
Bulldogs will take it over on downs and come back on offense, and Dustin DuBois is trying to make something happen here.
And Dustin's gotten to be one of our playmakers. He returns punts and kicks and all kinds of things on special teams. So, you know, we're really excited about what he brings to the table.
Will Ford with the pickup of 4 yards, so we're back in Ram territory. Leaves it on the ground. I thought he was down.
I thought he was down, too. And let me tell you, this is the first fumble he's had since he's played college football. So, you know, it's a little bit unusual for him to put the ball on the ground.
Bulldogs come up with the sack. Matt Key there. And you talk about a defense making some plays. Jason Ayers as well on the play.
Jason forced it. Matt Key made the play. These guys are just continuously making plays here. And then Bailey Brinson knocks the ball loose. And Jason Ayers picks this up and starts to run with it a little bit. Wish he had given it to one of those light guys, maybe like Hamlin or somebody there.
Will Ford on the carry here. Bulldogs with another opportunity before the end of the first half. And I think this drive ended up being pretty frustrating.
Yeah, it was. I think we get it down to about the 1 yard line and fumble it or something like that. Heck, I don't know. But
Travell Jameson, that's a nice run there. This is probably the disappointing thing. Cleve fumbling the snap. A lot of folks thought he'd recover that football. You can't really tell from here.
Yeah, well, they've got the football, so it's pretty obvious that we don't have it. And, you know, that was a big play. It hurt us a bunch. You know, we just got to do better.
Bulldogs turn it over to Winston-Salem State, and now with time winding down in the first half, the Rams surprised me, Coach. They didn't have more of a sense of urgency nor take a shot at the end zone.
Well, I think they felt good about getting out of the half just down 10-0. So at that point, you know, they just wanted to try to make sure they didn't give up any more points.
Clock winding down at the end of the first half. Good open field tackle there. Bailey Brinson, who has just really improved and locked up that corner position.
Bailey is making some plays, and then they go for a field goal here, a long field goal, and Keon Brooks blocks the field goal for us.
And that pretty much was the way the first half ended Saturday night. South Carolina State leading 10-0. We'll have more on the